ready for this?
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday, so welcome to another edition of Coffee Time with Blind United. I'm in the studio today with my sidekick, my baby sister, Brittany. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Ed.
Everything good with you, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Well, looks like we flying solo this morning, baby.
All right. Well, hey, it's just all good.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. So we don't have any interest groups today. Wow. It's fourth Wednesday of the month and we don't have nothing today. So I guess we kind of get a little breather anyway.
Well, I mean, that's kind of good. You get to chillax, do some things that you need to do for Blind United. So, sometimes that's good to have a little bit of a break.
Well, and it's also an opportunity for those that may be considering doing an interest group. You see, we got an empty spot.
Yep.
So, did you see the my girl Alita? She posted in the group.
I did. I watched her video. I'm super excited for her interest group that she's going to be doing on makeup.
Yeah. She'll be starting in May. She called me yesterday. She was really, really excited. She's committed. She just wants to make that move. So she doesn't. It's crazy the way some of these training centers are. But anyway, she's in South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay.
And the training center is in Columbia. She doesn't live in Columbia, so because she doesn't live there, she has to stay there. It's a residential, right?
Okay.
So she's moving there, and should be moving in the 1st of May.
Okay.
So she'll be in the area, so then she can do the program as a day program.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And be able to sleep in her room, her bed, her stuff, her life.
No, I get that. Nobody wants to. I mean, that's one of the things about a lot of these programs. A lot of people don't want to just stop their life and live in a dorm for 6 months or whatever just to
Well, and
learn
here's another
skills.
thing for me, and I'm just going to use this as an example of how things are different in various training centers. I was informed yesterday that like when she gets out of class, when we were in training center, well, and when I was in training center anyway, I can only speak on mine. When I was in training center, after class was over, we were free to do what we wanted to do.
Right.
Okay, and I use that as an opportunity to go and they hanging out with the rest of the people that were there, but it wasn't really about the hangout part. It was more about learning the practical application of our mobility.
No, that makes sense. I get that.
Learning from people that were already doing it, and learning by the book is one thing. It's really, really good to know what the actual rules are and, the proper way to do things. But the proper way is not always the practical way, right? So
no, it's not.
So learning, practical application is very important, So, but anyway, she's not allowed to leave campus.
Wow. I mean, I have heard that different states are a lot more stricter when it comes to their training centers, but that's insane.
But she said they don't even really hang out or whatever. They get out of class, they go in their room and they just in their room.
Wow. That's crazy.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah, that would. That's wow.
So I don't know. I mean, again, it makes sense to me, that you know the folks that have been there, and unless maybe their program is different, I don't know. Out here, the center I was in, DPI, they, we had new people coming in pretty much every week, but you had a new class graduate every month.
Yeah.
So we were constantly cycling people in and out. So you always had people there that had been in the program, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever the case may be. And a lot of this stuff, we're a community. We're in there. We're doing this together. So the folks that have been there for a minute would help those that were just getting there, you know,
Right.
and as it should be. But it seemed like this is the way they're doing this thing. It's just you don't have that that asset, and that's
Right.
because that's what it truly is. It's an asset.
Right. Right.
When it comes into readjusting your life to living in the dark. I mean, there's a lot of adjustment that has to take place in there, and the more help you can get with making that adjustment, to me, the better off you are. You know,
No, I agree 100%. And sometimes with these training centers, you learn more from your blind peers than you do from the actual students sometimes, because especially with O&M, if somebody knows how to get somewhere, they can say, oh, this is how I get there, this is the technique that I use, or just going along with them
right,
teaches you
right.
how to, hey, or just
Well,
gives
then
you that
that's my
extra
whole
boost of
thing.
confidence.
That's my whole thing, Britt. And it wasn't that anybody put pressure on me. None of that. I was there, and for the first 2 weeks, okay, I'm gonna chill, and I'm feeling my way around and just trying to get comfortable with everybody and everything. And I just was noticing for those 2 weeks that every night. Some folks were leaving. They would go here, they go there. Some of them places were pretty interesting. Some of them maybe might be a little boring, or maybe they were just running errands, whatever the case may be. But I just noticed that the majority of people were leaving almost every night. You know,
Yeah.
wow, this is really something different. So then finally, my mentor, well, you know him, Daniel. So I got at Daniel. I said, Daniel, where y'all be going? Oh, well, we'll run up to the Buddha market, or we'll run down to the mall, or we'll go get something to eat or whatever. You know what, man? If it's cool, I'd like to hang out. Just to, number one, get the feel of being out there, with a group of blind people, and understand what that feels like and how you guys maneuver and travel and all that kind of stuff. He said, Ed, that's what this is about. Come on, let's go. I wondered when you was gonna come on, go with us, and boom. From then I never looked back. I
Right.
never looked back. And then, like I said, within a month, Greg had me riding the bus from Union Station all by myself.
Right.
So your fellow students are, to me, are a great asset as far as moving you forward and doing what you need to do. So I don't know. It's like I said, different schools got different things. Uh, uh, I, this is definitely one that I'm going to say is, probably throwing a barrier up in front of the students.
Right.
By not giving them every opportunity they can to learn. Some of the other centers that we've heard of, well, okay, well, you're blind. Why do you got to wear a sleep set? Well, no, well, they're just doing that for everybody. They're doing that also because, let's keep it 100. Just because we're blind don't mean we don't lie. Some people will lie
That's
about how much vision they truly have.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
so they want you to. So my point being, I can justify that.
Mhm.
I can't justify what going on over here. In my head, I can't
Well, okay.
justify it.
The only way I can kind of sort of justify this is like maybe they don't want to be liable. Let's just say a group of blind people go out, somebody gets hit by a bus, or I don't know, somebody is traveling at night and they think they're getting into an Uber or a taxi and it's not, and that person gets kidnapped and killed or whatever. I mean, I guess they're just thinking like, okay, well, we don't want to be liable if something happens, because I believe that sometimes we're not seen as disabled. We're not seen as adults. Like, okay, that person could be over 18 and they're traveling at night, they got hurt. Why did you let them do that? It's not like, oh, well, this person is an adult, they made a choice and something happened.
I mean, and I accept that, but at the same time, again, I'm grown. I was grown when I went to training center. I definitely don't want to be classified as somebody that is not grown. But again, have being said that I am grown, you know, once I step off campus, I'm no longer your responsibility. You're no longer liable.
No, I agree 100%. I just know that, I've been blind my whole life, and I know a lot of these training centers end up getting bad reputations for things that happen to their students when they're off campus.
Well, I mean, again, and I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, when you uh, uh, just totally prohibit it, again, me, it was my thing was okay. Well, number one, I'm grown. Number two, I'm going.
I
I'm
get
not.
no, I totally see where you're coming from, man. I get you.
It's not like I'm going out with people that got there the same time I did. You know,
No,
I'm traveling with people with I'm traveling with a purpose. I'm traveling with a purpose because I want to learn how to do this, right? So
right.
my point being is I'm traveling with people that have done it. They've been doing it. They're doing it. Not learning to do it, they are doing it. So therefore there's something I can learn there, you know.
I get you. And one of the things that I really admire about you, Ed, is you're the type of person who's like, okay, you made a mistake, let's pick up from this and let's move on, let's move forward. A lot of people don't see the world that way. A lot of, especially sighted people, I believe, and I'm not being like a hater or anything. I just,
Well, I
that's
mean,
been
again,
my experience.
depending on how you look at it, no matter what happens, life goes on. If it didn't kill you, hopefully you learned a lesson. You got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep pushing. I mean, I could have laid down and just cried and did whatever when I had my accident, and I could have been sitting at home not doing anything, at until even up to now, right? I could have just
Right.
been been totally dependent on others to do everything for me. I mean, where would I be right now? I mean, my wife passed away. Who would be taking care of me now? You know, I don't want to be a burden on my kids. I mean, yeah, my kids are around me, but my kids, Brett. They'll tell you, nah, Dad is he doing what he does.
No, and
And,
I respect that. I really do, but I just think sometimes it's public perception. It's I know this happens to you, Ed, when you're traveling and somebody grabs you and they say, "Oh my goodness, let me help you," or "I can't believe you're traveling alone. You should have like an attendant or something with you. You should have whatever." I know when I got my first guide dog, the trainers were saying sometimes people call the police on them for letting us like travel or for leaving us alone or doing things that they think are unsafe for a blind person. So I mean, I think that sometimes it's not, it's just people have a really skewed view of what our lives are like and what we should or should not be doing, and I think that that's where advocacy and educating comes into play.
Right. But see, if we were to be bound by other people's expectations of us, we wouldn't be where we are, Britt. We would have never made it into space. We'd have never made it to the moon. We'd never have electric cars.
No,
We'd never have
I
cars,
agree
period.
100%. If
You
it
know,
were up to me, I mean, if I were to win the lottery tomorrow, right? And I were to open up my own training center, if Blind United got their own training center, if you're over 18, you're a grown person. You are a grown ass person. You can do whatever you want to do. You can make whatever mistakes you need to make, just as long as it doesn't kill you within reason, because I get that you need to grow as a person. I'm totally team Ed all the way with what you're saying. I agree with you 100%. It's just like not very many people think like you and I.
well, and I get it, but again, I'm not going to be bound by somebody else's expectations. You
No,
know,
you shouldn't be,
you
but
know,
I
I
just
mean,
think when you go to these training centers, you got to follow their rules, and if you don't, you're out sometimes.
well,
So,
of
but I
course, I
get
mean,
you.
they do write the rules for their facility, whatever the case may be. And it just so happened that at DPI they didn't have an issue with us leaving at night. They didn't necessarily like the things that some of the folks did when they left, but again, they were grown people.
No, I get you. I
You
understand
know,
that.
we followed their rules. There was no alcohol, no drugs, no fornication, none of that stuff on campus. As long as it's not on campus, then they didn't have nothing to do with it. You
Right,
know,
right.
and trust and believe, some of that, all of that list that was happening off campus.
No, I believe it. I've been blind all my life. I know how
So
my community gets down.
and don't get me wrong, it's not that, I mean, again, a lot of my perspective comes, and I'm old school. Excuse me if I'm old and ancient and decrepit, should be a fossil. I mean, I get a lot of what you're saying, safety concerns, especially when it comes to females, being out there alone in the dark. But that's also another key. We were not out there alone. We were traveling in a group, right? So it's not like I'm going out there and I'm going to get in the wrong car or whatever. It's going to be us. Are they willing to deal with all of us?
Probably not. I mean, Ed, you're preaching to the choir right now
Well, I mean,
because
I know I got that, Britt, but at the same time, we're trying to let people understand, some of the barriers that people place in front of us and getting to our independence. So I'm gonna let that simmer for a minute. I'm gonna play your social media stuff. So we'll be right back in just a second.
oh,
You can visit our website, blindunited.org. That website again is blindunited.org. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or would like to be added to our email list, you can email us at info@blindunited.org. That email address again is info@blindunited.org. If you would like to reach us by phone, you can call us at 909-846-8825. That number again is 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram
all
at
right.
Blind United Interest Groups. You can
Well,
follow
George
us on
commented.
X,
He said
formerly
to
known
hump
as
the
Twitter,
ones that you love,
at
or
Blind
something like
United
that.
22. You can follow us on our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups, and you can also join our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United. Blind United.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you're saying because your commercial.
Oh, okay. No, I said that George commented he should be here with us, but he commented, he said, happy hump day and hump the ones that you love.
Brother George. But yeah, anyway, I mean, that's kind of one of my pet peeves. And just for those listening that may not necessarily know me that well, this is kind of why we started Blind United. We've been through the system. We've seen what the system has to offer. We've seen the restrictions that the system puts on us. And we wanted to create something that eliminated as many of those barriers that we possibly could eliminate. And the ones that we couldn't eliminate, we wanted to do what we could do to lower them so that it's not so hard to get over them or around them or whatever the case may be. Some things you just got to do, even though it is what it is. But, if you can make it easier to get through that piece of it, cool. Then that's what Blind United is all about. So that's where my passion comes from. So hopefully I'm not offended anybody in anything I've said. It's just, again, that's my opinion. I love having my independence back. Man, I just don't know what I would do without it. I can't see me living my life where I'm dependent upon every somebody, anybody, to do everything I need done. That's not to say that people don't do stuff for me, but now it's more, it happens out of choice rather than necessity. It's just because it's easier, to let, for instance, my daughter go shopping for me. I can just give her a list, let her go, boom. It's not to say I can't go to the store. I know how to go to the store. I know how to do the shopping. I know how to order a ride to get to the store, all that kind of stuff. I know how to do all of that. So, but it's just easier. I never did got going shopping anyway. I'm that guy that wouldn't even go window shopping. You girls love to go window shopping and just walk around and look through the windows at the stores. I know I'm only going shopping when I need something. Okay, I need a new pair of pants or I need a new pair. That's when you're going to catch me at the mall. I'm not walking around through the mall just for something to do or just to see what's new and, whatever. No, I ain't doing that. That's not me. So, but anyway.
No, I agree with you, Ed. That brings a question that I have. What is independence to you? What does independence mean to you, Ed?
Independence to me, Brittany, is the ability to live my life without assistance. Okay. Being able to get up, make my own coffee, cook my own breakfast, cook my own dinner, wash my own clothes, clean my own house, or whether it be, order a paratransit ride or order an Uber or a Lyft, whatever mode of transportation I choose to use, being able to pretty much get in transportation and go wherever I want to go. Now, are there some barriers in that? Yes, they are. Because Britain, like I know, when you're going somewhere that's unfamiliar, then there's a barrier there. You have to learn that area. But again, there's ways to work it out, you know, and as long as you work that out, then you're independent. I don't need nobody to pay my bills for me. I'm fully functional. I pay my mortgage. I pay my all my utility bills. I pay my credit card bills. Whatever. That's independence. Being able to live your life without assistance.
No, I agree with you 100%. There's different types of independence. There's being financially independent. There's being, independent in regards to mobility, and, independent in regards to independent living skills. So there's different types of independence and there's different levels of it. And, you may have to do something a different way. That doesn't mean you can't do it. You're just doing it in a different way. And
That part.
what independence may mean to Ed, it may mean something totally different to me. Like Ed said, with the example of going to the store, I can go to the store. I can, order an Uber, Lyft, Access, whatever, the bus, go over there, get all my stuff that I need to get, and come back home. But do I like doing that? No. So I don't. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that technology has made it so that I don't have to if I don't want to.
But even that's a form of independence because you gain the skills to be able to use the apps to have that stuff done. And again, I mean, I think I kind of covered all of those that you were talking about. I mean, pay my bills. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm financially independent because why? I can pay my bills.
Right, right, right.
Mobility. I mean, I'm independent that way because I do know how to get in the car. I do know how to go down and get on the train. I do know how to go get on a bus. All of these various modes of transportation. Like I said, where the barrier comes in is where I'm going somewhere new. You know, but then there's also, like I say, you just have to learn to do things a new way. So if I'm going somewhere new, and I hate this stuff about it, but like as an example, I'll go somewhere and I'll have somebody that decided to go with me if it's a new place, and I have them help me out. If it's somewhere that I'm going to be going frequently, then I'll take the time to learn that route and so, it's solidified in my mind, so I know how to get from the car or the train or whatever the case may be to the building I need to go to, or whatever. You get my point. The
No,
route.
I totally get your point. And
Yeah.
Elizabeth in said good morning, and another Facebook user, I don't know who this person is, said that they would love to join Blind United, so we would love to have you. And speaking of independence, You Can Give initiative. They're giving independence to people all over the world who otherwise could not get a cane. I can't imagine not being able to have my cane. I have a whole bunch of canes, and I don't know what I would do without my cane. My cane changed my life. My cane is revolutionary. Like, okay, as a blind person, there are a couple of things that have changed the quality of my life. One of them being my iPhone, another being my cane. I don't know where I would be without it. So, if you want to donate to Jimmy and what he's doing, what's the website, Ed?
www.youcangive.org.
All right. That website again is youcangive.org. So if you have some money to give, if you have an old beat up cane, if you have a cane that you bought and you're just like, I don't like this cane or whatever the situation is, donate to them. They need all the help that they can get.
Yeah, you can also reach out to us, ed at blindunited.org, info@blindunited.org. And bottom line, we can make sure that we get you connected. I mean, if it's a monetary donation, I will direct you straight to Jimmy. But if it's a cane or something like that, whatever, then we here at Blind United will be collecting canes on behalf of Jimmy, and then we're going to get together and refurbish these canes and get them to him so he can get them in the hands of people that would not otherwise be able to get one. So it's all about that independence again. I mean, it's just, that's a big tool of independence. And a lot of people, if anybody listened to the show on Monday, there's a lot of he's putting canes in the hands of people that never had a cane before in their life, and they're grown. He's giving canes to people where, if the state, country that they live in, you may be able to get a cane, but it might take 3 years, or maybe they're so expensive that a cane is basically 1 month's salary or 1 month's rent. I'm not going to sacrifice a roof over my head to get a cane. I mean, regardless of how important I think it may be, shelter is much more important, or food is much more important, so you got to survive, plus a lot of these other countries, once you become disabled like this, they shun you. You become, I mean, it's already a third world country, so they'll put you out and you become basically indigent, homeless, because they don't want you to be a burden on them. Life is already a burden on them. So Jimmy's doing a lot of really good work. So Again, if you really want to help out, please do. Please, Jimmy would appreciate it. We would appreciate it. We'd love you to partner with us and Jimmy, and let's make this happen. Let's get some canes into people's hands. He's going to 3 different countries. I forget which one. I know he said Colombia. I know he said he's going back to Africa. I didn't hear the third one, but I did catch that he needs 300 canes. That's the key. That's the goal. That's the number. That's what we're trying to get him. We're trying to get him 300 canes so that he can take care of the people that are there waiting on canes. So that all being said, I am going to play your thing one more time, Britton, and Pedro has graciously left us a couple clips here, and then we're going to move the conversation in another direction, okay?
You can visit our website, blindunited.org. That website again is blindunited.org. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or would like to be added to our email list, you can email us at info@blindunited.org. That email address again is info@blindunited.org. If you would like to reach us by phone, you can call us at 909-846-8825. That number again is 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Blind United 22. You can follow us on our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups, and you can also join our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United. Blind United.
So I'm going to go right into this clip, Britt, and then we'll talk on the other side of this.
Microsoft is enhancing Windows 11 with practical features like voice clarity for improved audio, 80 gigabits per second USB support for faster data transfer, and expanded sharing and compression options. The remote capture feature has moved to the Snipping Tool app, facilitating photo editing from your Android phone. Voice clarity, initially introduced on the Surface Laptop Studio, uses AI to filter background noise, enhancing audio quality across third-party apps. The update supports USB 80 gigabits per second, matching Thunderbolt 5 speeds, and will first appear on Intel Core 14th Gen HX series processors, such as the new Razer Blade 18. Sharing capabilities now include WhatsApp, Twitter/X, Gmail, Facebook, and LinkedIn, with improved sharing speed. File Explorer expands to support more compression formats, including gzip and bzip2. Additionally, Narrator becomes smarter, using AI to describe images when connected. These features, testing now, aim to refine the user experience, with a broader rollout expected in the future. Now back to the show.
So, I know a lot of that was the new features that are coming out on Windows 11. I am getting ready to convert from 10 to 11. So, that's interesting to me. But the one thing I keep picking up and we keep hearing a lot about, no matter where we turn, artificial intelligence is getting ready to be in everything we do. It's already in a lot of our products. For our kind of first introduction in our community of how it can help us was what? Be My AI. And that's great. It's a great tool. It's very, very useful. AI as a whole, I see the usefulness of it. I really believe it's going to be a great asset for our community. But again, I can't express this enough, I guess. We got to make sure we have guardrails in place. We cannot let something that eventually is going to feel or think that it is more intelligent than us. And I'm not saying it won't be, but at the same time, we can't let it control our life. We can't let it make decisions for us. So, uh, how you feel about AI, Brett?
I believe that we're gonna have to change some laws. I'm pretty sure once AI becomes more prevalent with the self-driving cars and all that, AI in workplaces and taking people's jobs. I believe that we should definitely have like a universal basic income because a lot of people might be misplaced in regards to what jobs that they can do, and that might help. I don't know what direction AI is going to go, but I mean, so far I really like AI. I like what I've used it for. I mean, I'm not very good at anything, so it's made me more productive. So I've enjoyed using AI. I was listening to a podcast last night about AI in headphones. So I guess the newer headphones, you can be like, let's just say you're listening to music and I come up to Ed and I start talking to him, it'll lower the volume or it'll make it so that he can hear me, but it's still noise canceling and it's canceling out all the unwanted noise that he may not want to hear, like a dog barking or a cat or a vacuum or whatever. So I believe that AI has a lot of potential and I'm going to see where it goes. I can't wait for the future. Technology has improved my life as a blind person. I don't know how I feel about a lot of these Windows 11 features. I don't know if I will use them personally because I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm excited for whatever happens.
You're very modest as well, Brett. So, but I mean, well, like for instance, last night on George's Tips and Tricks, last night at 6 p.m., but he was, basically showing us some stuff on Windows 11. He just recently got his 11 machine. I mean, I've learned I like the dictation part of it. I kind of getting the hang of it. It's almost kind of like the same as dictation on our phones and stuff. I'm not going to say that that's necessarily an AI feature, but just having that ability, it might be another process as well, being that it's brand new with Windows, that it also has to learn our verbiage and how can I say this, where it's going to write it in proper and not Ebonics. I don't know how that's eventually going to work, but I mean, just being there, having the ability to do it is, to me, okay, that's a step forward. They were playing around, and I'm be glad when they get it perfected. What we talking about, this new what are they calling it? The AI in Windows, Brit. What were they?
Copilot,
Yeah,
Microsoft Copilot.
yeah, Microsoft Copilot. So I mean, I can see where that'll work. I mean, I kind of like the fact that I can, once we get it all figured out or whatever, I can say, okay, well, open up Outlook. Okay, compose an email to Brittany Magico, whatever, right? And I can do all that just by talking to my computer. I mean, I hate keyboards. I hate typing. I literally failed typing 4 times in high school, y'all. I'm amazed that I can type 2 words right now. But I had to become proficient in it because my life is in front of a keyboard right now. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get worse once I start using this Copilot or whatever. I don't know. But I just having the ability to talk to my computer and trying to remember all of these different JAWS commands and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know how much all that's going to play into it, but I'm looking forward to trying to find out. So again, I think it's a great tool. I think it's a great asset. We just got to have our safeguards in place. Uh, I'm man, that car, man. I want a car. I really do, but I don't want one before they're done. I want them to make sure that, you know, knowing technology, especially electronic technology, computer technology, there's always going to be glitches. You know, I don't know if we're ever going to get past that point where we would never have them again. But until we do, then again, we got to have these safeguards in places. I mean, why would we get in a car that only has one, what are we going to call it, one system? What happens if that system breaks down? We got to have a backup. We got to have something. We're traveling down the freeway at 65, 70 miles an hour. We got to have something that if that thing does something, a glitch, right? We got to have something that's going to detect that glitch right away and kick it right back in, on a backup system. I mean, I hate to go here, but look what happened to that ship. Was it yesterday or day before? You see that?
It was yesterday in Maryland. Yeah, I did see that. That's really sad what happened.
So. Yeah, it really is. But again, what happened? It was a glitch.
Mm-hmm.
It was a glitch. That ship lost power, and by the time it regained power, it couldn't get away from the pylons that were holding up the bridge that it ran into. And it brought that whole bridge down. It shut that whole port down. I mean, right. and God, I'm sorry, but and there were lives lost. There's still 6 people missing.
Right.
So there's loss of life there because of a glitch. So again, as bad as I want that car, I don't want it until it's ready.
No, I agree. I don't think that this technology is going to be out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a couple of years before we really figure out how
right
it's going to work.
And then if anybody watched the show we did a couple of days back, well, actually, that was last week, wasn't it, Britt, when we were talking about Waymo? And it was last week.
Yeah, I believe it was last week when we talked about Waymo, but
yeah, but I mean, that's a great thing as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Waymo cars are out there, they're being used, they're logging miles. They're still technically in trials, I guess you call it, but I mean, people they're riding in them every day. They're showing statistics that, there's less accidents by self-driving cars than there are by human-driven cars. I mean, the numbers are really looking good. All of that kind of stuff. I didn't see any stats and not that they would necessarily put them out there like that, but I'm pretty sure if we did the research, we could find out, has this thing ever been in any accidents? Has it ever actually, hurt anybody or whatever? But so far, what they're putting out there for us to see is looking good. So again, it's all about the AI, and AI is coming. So we might as well get ready for it, because you might as well learn how to use it because it's going to be a part of your life, So now on that being said, here's another little clip about AI. You know what? I'm going to play your thing one more time, Britt, and then we'll do that. I'm going to do it right behind you.
All right.
You can visit our website, blindunited.org. That website again is blindunited.org. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or would like to be added to our email list, you can email us at info@blindunited.org. That email address again is info@blindunited.org. If you would like to reach us by phone, you can call us at 909-846-8825. That number again is 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Blind United 22. You can follow us on our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups, and you can also join our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United. Blind United.
Apple's iPhone will gain generative AI capabilities through iOS 18, bolstered by increasing rumors and research indicating ChatGPT-like integrations. However, Apple might partner with third parties for cloud-based AI features. Talks with OpenAI and Google have been mentioned, with Google as a potential frontrunner. Surprisingly, reports now suggest Apple may collaborate with Baidu in China for iPhone AI features, bypassing Google and OpenAI due to local availability issues. Baidu's Ernie Bot, a ChatGPT competitor approved by Chinese regulators, could power these features on the iPhone 16, macOS, and iOS 18, marking a significant move for Apple in accommodating AI technologies while navigating regulatory landscapes. This partnership hints at Apple's broader strategy to incorporate generative AI across its devices with the help of third-party providers. Now back to Blind United.
Well, again, more AI. And one thing I hear in that article that, I'm sorry, until we have better relationships with them, I don't know, I want a Chinese AI. I'm sorry, if we're not on good terms with them, or, how do we know that not going to do something that may, again, when you're dealing with technology, you're dealing with, this kind of stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that we don't never know anything about, So, on the surface, it might be doing what we want it to do, but on the backside, who knows what it's doing, So, again, I like having AI into my devices and so on and so forth. At this point, like I said, the only thing I have an objection with, with the new iOS is dealing with China on that. I get that they're making our phones, but again, they make them cheaper. So, corporate America, they're going to go wherever they can get stuff made cheaper. And in essence, that's what I'm hearing in that article is because of availability or whatever. To me, that's why they're going there. It's cheaper to get them to create an AI, China, than it is to go and deal with OpenAI, which I'm not 100% sure, but I know OpenAI is the first one I knew about, I believe. And then, Google, okay, Google is getting better. It's not necessarily, what's the term George uses? Robust as chat, but now you bringing in another foreign country one that somebody that we're not good with. Now, I don't know, Brett. So
I don't know how to feel about it either, because I'm not xenophobic. I know that we don't have the greatest relationship with China, and I understand that they do make our phones. I understand that they make them cheaper. I understand that we probably don't have workers in the United States who are capable of building these phones and being paid the prices that they pay people in China. So, there's a lot of different factors that go into this. If GPT is working with Be My Eyes, I don't see why they couldn't work with Apple. But who am I to say? I don't know nothing about nothing.
Well, no, and I totally agree. And before anybody, cops an attitude or whatever, I have nothing against Chinese people as a whole. I have issues with the fact that, the Chinese government has issues with our government. If we were good and all of our relationships were good, then no problem. You know, I think another issue is, like you said, we do have the people that can put these phones together. We just don't have people that's willing to put them together as cheap. You know, I mean, again, even though China may be, this is crazy. The Chinese government is one of the richest countries in the world, but their people are living in third world economics. That's crazy. And but yet this is supposed to be a communist country that takes care of all their people. And I mean, their people get the bare minimum while the what do they call them, autocrats, are living, you know, the high life. So I don't know. There's some backwards thinking in there somewhere. But again, I have nothing against Chinese people as a whole. I have a lot of folks, friends that are Chinese and so on and so forth. I mean, I know that sounds crazy or whatever, but I mean, I do. I judge individuals on them. Well, I shouldn't even judge, but my point being, I accept people for who they are. I mean, I let you speak for who you are. If I talk to you long enough, you don't even have to tell me the truth. The truth is going to come out, you know. So, again, I have nothing against the folks. It's just, you know, the political boo boo. I hate the political boo boo. I mean, that's another reason. I'm sorry. That's another reason we started Blind United, because believe it or not, in the blindness community, there's politics. Okay, well, there should be no politics here. So when you guys look at our description and you see that one voice, I'm gonna start using that term a lot more. One voice, one voice, one voice. People that speak with one voice get stuff done. When we speak with different voices, nothing gets done. So one voice, blind community, we need to speak with one voice.
Yeah, we need to speak with one voice, but I know I'm being very repetitive, but we're not all the same. We are not all the monolith. There are blind people who believe in NFB, CCB, ACB, whatever it is. Some aren't affiliated with anything. Some use canes, some use guide dogs, some use nothing. Some read Braille, some don't. I mean, some are JAWS users, some are voiceover users, whatever. Like
Right.
we're all very different. So I just
Right.
want to
Some use
say that.
iPhone, some use Android. Some people read Braille, some people don't, you know. But the whole point about speaking with one voice is, regardless of what phone preference I have, regardless of what organization preference I may have, any of that stuff, we're all the same as far as in the community together, and we should all stand up for each other and give each other what they need, what the individual needs. I mean, you know, again, if Android is your thing and that's what you want to go, man, I'm good with that. Go ahead, work your Android. I'm an iPhone guy, right? I mean, you know, I'm not mad. You know, I've always used this with this explanation. You may need an audible signal. Maybe I don't, but I'm not going to stop in the way of you getting an audible signal. You know,
Right.
I mean, I don't use a guide dog, but I'm not going to stand in the way of you getting a guide dog. You know,
No, exactly. We are pro blind here. If
we're
you need
pro blind.
pro blind, yeah, we don't care whatever it is. None of us are guide dog users, but if there's something going on in the community, we would love to help and advocate with you and stand with you. Whatever it is, if you need an audible signal, whatever, braille reader, anything. So just
I
know
mean,
that.
whatever it is, bottom line, just know that, you know, Blind United stands for exactly what it says. We are blind and we are united, and we want to stand up and fight for one another and help one another get what each of us needs to live our best life. You know, so all that being said, we're getting down to the bottom of our time here, Brett.
Oh no, it went by so fast.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes. So I would like to encourage everyone to please, for those that are not listening to us over there, please run over to YouTube. check us out over there. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It really, really does help. Not that I'm counting on it, but somewhere down the road, if you guys like us, what we're doing enough, and like, not only this programming, but program that will be coming, in the very near future, eventually, guess what? That'll be a source of income for Blind United, because everything we do right now at Blind United, guess what? It's totally free. You don't need to be a member of anything. All you got to do is log on. You want to learn how to do JAWS? Come on Tuesday nights. We do it the first and third Tuesday of every night. You want to come on and learn basic iPhone stuff? We do that every Sunday. Okay? You want to come on and learn advanced iPhone technology, stuff like that? We do that on the first and third Wednesday. So, check out our schedule. We got many, many interest groups. We got interest groups coming down the road. We were just talking about it in the very beginning of the show. We got a young lady that's going to come on. For you ladies that, think that maybe you can't wear makeup, or, you've lost your sight and don't think you can put it on again and look just as good as you did, you can. This girl's going to come on and she's going to show you how to apply your makeup as a blind individual, blind or vision impaired, And then we do fun stuff. We watch movies, listen to movies, I should say, right? So we listen to these descriptive movies. We got one more left, Britt, in the Matrix series. So that'll be coming up this Friday.
Well, come on and hang out with us on Friday. Get your popcorn, get your wine, get your broccoli, get your fruit snacks.
Get whatever you need. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever you need.
Gets kick back, chill, and listen to a good descriptive movie. If you like playing games, we play RS games. If you like crafting, we got a crafting group. If you're ambitious about maybe starting your own business, we got that group coming back up. Business Builders Workshop. We're teaching people how to speak Spanish. Come on now. I love my Spanish folks. My biggest issue with them is I can't talk to them. I don't know how to talk to them. So, I meet them in the streets and, and I want to be pleasant. I want to greet them and so on and so forth, but I don't know the language. Well, we got somebody teaching us that now, So, again, we're just trying to do everything we can to help people live their best life. And we're trying to do this to where we can give it to whoever totally free. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be qualified for any rehab somewhere. A lot of folks don't. And that's one of the things we want to do. We want to close that gap. We build bridges, close gaps, and make connections. So by allowing people to come on and we're giving this training away for free, we just close that gap. Yep. By doing this on Zoom, we built a bridge to every state, every city across the country, every country across the world. We got a bridge there. Now we can make that connection.
Yes.
So again, all of this stuff is very important. And, we just want everybody to come on and be a part of what we're doing, be a part of the, I don't know what I'm gonna call it, Britt, the one voice movement. That's what we call it, a one voice movement. We need everybody to be, part of this. And we do this as a one voice movement, and we do this across the country, across the world. Guess what? We can get a lot of stuff done. We can definitely get a lot of stuff done. So.
And I agree.
With all that being said,
email Ed at blindunited.org and follow us on YouTube and donate to You Cane Give, because canes are important.
Yeah, come on out, join us, hang out. Wow, I hit the rock music button today.
I like it. I like it. But yeah, you guys, come on,
Hey,
donate so you can give and come hang out with us on Zoom. And if you want to be on Coffee Time, email ed@blindunited.org.
you got to get at me early because if I don't get that email by 8:30, I'm too busy to get you the link. So.
Because you might have something to say. You may have a different opinion that's very different than ours. And we like different opinions, different voices. I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing my voice. So if you want to get, if you like,
I love your voice, Brittany. Don't
well,
say
if
that.
you'd like to come on and talk with Ed, you can email him at ed@blindunited.org.
I love you too, Brittany. So until later, tomorrow, we don't have anything today, but wait a minute, do we have anything tomorrow?
No, we do not.
Wow, well, it's into the month. That's what I'm not realizing. That's what just light came on. It's into the month. So, but anyway, we will be here tomorrow morning. So come check us out tomorrow, 9 a.m., Coffee Time with Blind United. Until then, one voice.